Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is GoldenBoy and this is a random thought. For those of you guys who may be wondering, the Random Thought is a new series that I'm doing talking about some hot topics in the video game industry. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and you never know, I may make a couple more of these. So today's topic, are video games ever going to be released finished? So before we get into that, let's talk about a little context first, right? As of late, video games have been releasing a tad bit unfinished, right? For example, Assassin's Creed Unity comes to mind, Halo the Master Chief Collection, heck, even Grand Theft Auto 5 had some launch issues, and it's something that you're gonna see more and more of, right? Developers have become very used to releasing a game and then releasing a day one patch alongside the game, and we'll get into the reason why that is in a little bit. So why is this a big deal? Why are so many people pissed off about this? Well, for starters, you have to keep in mind that it has been commonly known that when you pay $60 for a disc-based game, you know, something like this, for example, well, you know, you expect it to work out of the box. But the fact is, that's not really the case all the time. So where did this all start? Where did it originate? Well, I think you would look no further than PC gaming. And not saying that PC gaming is a bad thing. Lord knows I don't want the PC master race people attacking me. You have to keep in mind that it has become commonplace, especially on services like Steam, to be able to sell a game that's in alpha or beta form. It's not even a full release, right? You're basically committing money to a developer saying, hey, I hope your project, the game that you're working on, is going to be good and finished. Here's $30 to support you on your path to glory, right? But that's not usually the case. Sometimes things happen, and of course I don't want to get into all that kind of stuff, but for the most part, the games that you're investing to in the alpha and the beta stages usually do end up getting full releases. Still though, there are common issues and things that continue to be updated and patched, and while there are people who are frustrated about it and would voice their concerns, it really is I guess in contrast to what's going on with console gaming, because I think people have associated the disc-based games with finished products, but the game industry has really shifted to this mindset of development as we go. So is this all a bad thing? Is this something that people are going to continue to outrage over? Well, for the time being, yes, because it's not the norm. People aren't used to this. They don't understand that, you know, hey, if I purchase this $60 game, it should work, right? And of course, don't get me wrong, I would love for that to be the case. I would love for that to be the reality. As the game development has, you know, continued to grow more complex, and there's just layer upon layer of new intricacies and all these different things. I mean, really, the job of a game developer, the job of a studio, is become so intense, especially when it comes to these AAA games, because of the amount of polish and quality that are expected to be in there. The sad truth is you're not always going to hit those goals, because time is your enemy, and whenever you're trying to work against time, usually time wins. So then someone would say, well, push it back. Push the game release back. Why would you do this? Well, in the instance of something like Watch Dogs, for example, that had a pretty hot start, people were hotly anticipating it, very excited for the game, they ended up pushing the release back because they felt like the game wasn't quite where it needed to be. Now, don't get me wrong, Watch Dogs did have a good release, but it wasn't the best release. Watch Dogs would have been a huge hit on next-gen consoles when it was expected to release on day one, but because they ended up pushing it back, and granted, it did have some good time, you know, people were streaming it, people were creating content around it, it's kind of died down since then. Watch Dogs could have had an opportunity to solidify itself in gaming history by being a launch title, and one of the best launch titles at that, granted, had the developer been ready for it, but because they weren't, they decided to push it back. And, you know, who knows, did it affect sales? Maybe it could have sold more, maybe it could have sold less, I don't know. That is an example that you can use there of something that was really exciting and people were anticipating it, and then the hype kind of just died down little by little. You have to take in consideration that, you know, game development is complicated, it's hard, it's tough, and you can't always expect to hit those goals. That's why developers, whenever they make a game go gold, which means that it's basically going on the disc now, they continue to work, they continue to update the product, because they don't want to give you guys something that is half-assed. Now, of course, since the release of the Master Chief Collection, matchmaking has improved. Of course, it's going to continue to improve, and I feel like this was more of something that when it got out to the wild, that's when things just started to fall apart, and who knows? I don't know. I don't work there, so I don't know what's going to happen, although the internet seems to think I'm cashing in invisible checks from 343. Moving forward, I just want to say that I feel like people are kind of forgetting that this is something that's going on PC all the time, right? People are releasing unfinished games and they're expecting them to buy it. And because of the way it is on console, and I'm not saying this is correct, but because of the way console games are being perceived, well, this same kind of development process doesn't necessarily fit. So is it something that's going to change? Is it something that should change, or maybe it will never change? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section down below. Developers are going to continue to improve the games post-launch, but on top of that, they're going to continue to improve the game as it releases or goes gold, right? They want to make sure that the experience is as perfect as it could possibly be. And it's a tall order, to say the least, because these games are getting very difficult to create and they're costing a lot of money to create as well. Of course, I would like to see this improve. I would like to see it change. But as we continue to move toward the digital age where people are going to be downloading their games on their consoles pretty soon, disc-based products aren't going to be as sought after anymore. I would imagine that this probably won't change, and the way that it is on PC is going to become a tad bit more expected. If I release a game in alpha or beta stage and you spend $60 on it, you're supporting me, the developer. And of course, you have no time frame, no idea when the game's going to be complete, but you're investing in the experience and also the studio that is creating this experience rather than the finished product on a shelf. Of course, I would love to see this all kind of become not so much the norm, but I don't have any control over that. And that was my random thought. If you haven't liked this video, you can hit the thumb button down below. It looks just like this. Get that mouse going over there. Get the clickety clack. Subscribe as well. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, and as always, keep on winning. Peace out.